Hello, and welcome to Hear Me Over Analyze, where I deep dive content that I'm currently obsessed with. My current fixation is the Showtime series Yellowjackets. And today I'm going to be looking at some of the mystery surrounding the ever ethereal Charlotte Lottie Matthews. In the most recent episode of the show, season 2, episode 8, of course, Misty informs the rest of the adult Yellowjackets that we already know about. We don't know if they're the only ones, that Jessica Roberts was actually an investigator hired by Thaisa to track down the women and essentially test them to see if anyone would spill the beans about what actually happened in the wilderness. Misty also reveals that this is how Ty was able to track down and reconnect with Van. Viewers already knew this, but it was a big reveal to the other characters. This refocus on Jessica Roberts, a plot point that has largely been left out of season 2, and the information that Ty got from her got me thinking, how in the world did Jessica Roberts miss Lottie? How? In season 2, episode 4, we see Ty and bad Ty break into Jessica Roberts' apartment and steal the entire Yellowjackets file in order to get the information that Roberts had collected on Van so that Ty could show up unannounced. Even though it looked like Roberts had the opportunity to go and test Van before Misty offed her, Roberts still had all of Van's information, including a printed out picture of the VHS rental store. So you're telling me there was nothing about Lottie in that file? How? How? Sure, she's going by Charlotte now, but that's the equivalent of Joe Biden, Joseph Biden, and little Joey Biden being 3 separate entities that are hard to connect to each other. That's not realistic. In addition, she still lives within a couple of hours of her hometown. We're not told exactly where Camp Green Pine is, but every single one of the remaining Yellowjackets could drive to it no problem. And Lottie runs a freaking business. Yes, her business is a cult, but she is very much in denial about that and branding it as a therapeutic wellness retreat. There must be marketing, or at least a phone number you can call, where she is advertising her service. Where is she getting these clients? They're coming from somewhere. Next, everyone assumed Lottie was still hospitalized in Switzerland. Why? Why did they think that? Last episode, Lottie says that Switzerland was over a decade ago. Even if they haven't been in touch, we know that these women have notoriety, at least online. The release of a Yellowjacket from that sort of facility that she was presumably in for at least 10 years, and her return home, where she plans on guiding other trauma survivors to some form of health and betterment, would be a major news story, even if Lottie didn't want it to be. So, how is it possible that Lottie stayed under the radar of Jessica Roberts and Misty freaking Quigley? I'm going to focus on the Jessica Roberts part because the Misty Quigley part, I have no idea. Okay, so what are our options? I spent a couple hours thinking about it today. I think we have 4 main options. I'm sure there are more. Here are the 4 that I can think of. 1, Jessica Roberts and Misty both just missed her. But I'm supposed to believe that somehow Travis tracked her down and Natalie's friend who looked into Travis's bank account found her name. No, I'm not spending any more time on that. That's ridiculous. Moving on. 2, Lottie's family and or wealth has been able to influence or pay to keep her under the radar. I still don't understand how that would work or how she would gain clients that way. But I suppose there's an option there with information filled in as the story goes on. 3. Lottie's compound is way more of a cult than just wearing purple, playing with farm animals, and group therapy. Adam and Walter are part of the cult, explaining Walter's purple attire being at the ready and Adam's tattoos and insertion into Shauna's life. This would also make the song Not While I'm Around from Sweeney Todd that was playing in Walter's house. That would make that song about Lottie. This song is sung by a little boy who is protecting his mother from Sweeney Todd. I know a lot of people want it to be about him protecting Misty, but that makes the whole like protecting mother thing really weird. And I don't really want to get into it because we haven't gone that weird since we all assumed that Adam was Shauna's baby. So we're going to move away from that. 4. Jessica Roberts did contact Lottie, and the stress of having her past trauma brought up was a catalyst for Lottie to start having delusions again. Frustratingly, we never saw Thaisa actually go through the entire file. We only saw her look for Van's information. So Lottie's information may very well have been in there, and Ty just didn't look at it. Van claims that she has never even heard the name Jessica Roberts, and Lottie says nothing. As viewers, we're maybe supposed to assume that Lottie is in the same boat as Van on this, but we don't know that. Lottie may just be staying quiet, or Lottie may have blocked the entire thing out because of the traumatic stress that resurfaced. This would make sense again of Natalie bringing up, like, how much do you guys remember? I know that she's referring to like the 1996 to 98-ish time period, but perhaps in Lottie's case, that also applies to Jessica Roberts coming around and asking questions that she didn't want to think about. Given the information we currently have, these were the options that I was able to come up with. But I know there are more. What are your theories? What am I missing? Comment below. Let me know what you think. If you found this to be at all interesting, you can best support me by liking this video, subscribing. You can also follow me on Instagram at Hear Me Overanalyze and on Twitter at OverAnalyzePod. Thanks, everybody. I hope you all have great days.